formless, shapeless, like water.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Knowledge Heist podcast. We're here with another special guest, Brendan. He's coming from Greenfield. We're going to talk about a lot of different topics. But first of all, I want you to introduce yourself, man. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for the introduction as well. So I just recently graduated from CSUMB, and right now I'm doing affiliate marketing, and I specialize in SEO. I've worked with like a few small businesses before, but right now, like, I'm focusing on my own affiliate websites and trying to get into e-commerce as well.
Yeah. So talk about that. I mean, talk about first of all, I want you to define what affiliate marketing is and SEO for people that don't know about that. And then start off with that, and then we'll dive in more deep.
Right, for sure. So affiliate marketing is basically you're selling another person's product. So, like, for example, if I'm selling or I'm promoting a product that's like a camera, and I'm sending people from my website, they'll click on my link, and I have like a little ID attached to that link. Mm-hmm. So when they click the link, it's attributed to me. And then when they buy or purchase the camera from like Amazon or something, I get a percentage. Normally a smaller percentage, but you could join other networks that pay higher. So it could range anywhere from like 5 to like even 80% commission. Yeah, which is really nice.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's basically what I do. So I create my own website, create the content, and then drive traffic to it, promoting various products. Right now, like, I'm in the health niche, so it's like really interesting because Google penalized like a lot of health websites for not being legitimate. So a lot of people lost traffic.
Yeah. Dope, bro. Explain the SEO part too, because I think that's really crucial. Like, it's really back end, like how you actually drive that optimization.
So search engine optimization is basically, I don't like to use the word manipulate, like optimize is like the better word, right? So you're optimizing your website to show up higher in the search results of a search engine. So search engines like Bing, Yahoo, but obviously the most powerful one, the most popular is Google. It's the only one we really care about. And there's a lot of different factors that go into that. It could like site design, website speed, your content, how you're displaying the content, backlinks, which is like basically other websites linking to yours, and like the age of your website as well. It's
a lot of different factors.
So basically I like to think about it as like like bodybuilders, right? They try to cover all the bases, right? They're getting good sleep, they're eating the right foods, they're doing like all these different workouts, taking supplements, they're making sure all the bases are covered. So basically you want to think your website is the same way. Like, you want to cover all the bases, even though like there can be evidence supporting like, oh, this doesn't actually help, but this does. Like, you just want to make sure you like, oh, you may not be certain that it actually works, but you want to just do it anyway just in case it does.
Definitely, bro.
Give you the slight edge.
So how'd you start off doing that, man? Like, was it you came across it randomly? Did you research this stuff? Like, what drove you to do all this, the marketing part especially?
So basically, like, I feel like his typical kid, like Googling how to make money online, right? So I was like super big into video games. Like, I was probably borderline addicted to this.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Play like World of Warcraft and like Call of Duty all the time. Play that all the time. And then like I would just get super tired of it, and I'd stay up late at night, like till 3 in the morning, and then like from 3 a.m. to like 5, I was like Google like how to make money online type stuff, and like I found search engine optimization, like some video talking about that. And then that was in high school, right? And so I was dating this girl at Sonoma State. So I went up to visit her, and like I see this guy like whipping around like a brand new BMW M3. Yeah. And it's super loud. And I was like, wow, dude, that's like really nice. That's exactly how I'd have that car. It's like, man, I wonder what he does. I was like, his parents probably bought it for him, like just brush it off. Like, he didn't earn that. I actually ended up seeing him, like I was like, oh, hey, man, like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I do SEO. And I was like, oh, so you do affiliate marketing? And like, because I had read about it and stuff, like all those nights, like just looking at it and studying it. And he's like, yeah, like, what the heck? Like, how do you know what that is? And, like, he was, like, all thrown off. And so he gave me like, some resources, like, some forums and stuff to actually get started. And they're actually really helpful. That, you know, gave you, like, there's actually, like, case studies in there that people provide, like, their own. And basically just outline how to do search engine optimization.
Yeah.
And even Shopify and e-commerce.
Definitely.
It's blackhatworld.com, I think it is.
So that was like, that's how you kind of like, you're playing video games. You're like, all right, I want to make money online.
Yeah, I was getting tired of that, you know.
How about I want to ask you this right now. Actually, how about now in the age of like Twitch, bro, where you could make money off video games?
That's
like, do you ever think about that? Like,
yeah.
Do you still play video games?
No, I don't play anymore.
No?
I wish.
But do you ever like
about the Twitch thing going on?
Yeah, about the Twitch thing.
It's crazy, you know. If you think about jobs that don't exist or didn't exist back then, that do now. So like, you know, like a Twitch streamer, like even a podcaster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't anything. There was like no words for that way back then. But now it's like, it just kind of makes you think about how many jobs can be created as well. But yeah, to answer your question, do I wish I still did it? No, because I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, of course.
But it would be something interesting to like see like what would happen if I took that route. You know?
Yeah, of course.
Just because it's so lucrative. And like I was really into video games before that, all that hype of like,
of course,
becoming super popular with like esports.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you though, because like now it's like when you talked about like the video games and you're like borderline addicted, there's people making big money being addicted to video games, and now it's their life, how they make their income, which is, I think, is amazing, bro, because now there's no excuse, bro. You can make money wherever, whenever, however. And I think that's like the most important thing now, because power of the internet, bro. That's what it is. And you know, just like this show, you know, you need a mic, a computer. You need technology, right? But after you get the technology, which is, I don't want to say easy to get, but once you have your hands on it, the world is yours, man. And I wanted to ask you that just right there and then, because that's the first thing that sparked in my head. Like, okay, Twitch now is a thing. But I want to go back to like you seeing the M3 and like meeting the guy. Yeah. So he gave you those resources. Like, did that drive you to, like, I feel like a lot of people, you know, they say like, dude, I want to drive that car. So like, I'm not saying that you're doing it for the car, but I feel like, damn, I want to know what this guy does. And do you still use that as a driver? I mean, do you drive an M3 now?
No, I don't drive an M3 now. I wish. It's coming soon, right?
That's right.
But
you gotta visualize those things, though, because
exactly.
I want you to explain that. You gotta visualize yourself in that.
So materialistic things are great, like motivators, and like for me at the time, like that was like big. Like I'd go on Instagram, it's like see the Lamborghini. Like, you know, I came from a small town.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see that. I didn't ever exposed to that, and so, you know, luckily with technology, you get that exposure and you can kind of open up your mind. Like, you know, there's more to life. Or you can achieve more for yourself, and it's still the driver to today, absolutely. But one thing I actually learned from this, like this past little LA like event that I went to, like these guys, same kind of deal. Like they got like Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, all this stuff. But one point that he made, Chase Hero, big e-commerce guy, he's like, yeah, like I have a Rolls Royce. Does it make me any different as a person? Absolutely not. Like. I don't define myself by the materialistic things that I have. Okay. It's like, what happens, like, if I think I'm cool because I'm driving a Lamborghini? What happens when the Lamborghini breaks? What happens when the Lamborghini, I sell it, or something bad happens, I don't have it anymore? Like, am I still cool? Like, does that make me as a person? It's like, no. Yeah. Like, they're just toys at the end of the day. Yeah. They're just there for, like, it's just an externality. It doesn't really affect who you are.
Did you always think like that, though? Because I feel, for example, like, there was a point in my life before, like, the start of a journey. I'll call it the journey of awareness. Mm-hmm. That's awareness. You're making sure that you don't attach yourself to a materialistic thing, because once that materialistic thing is gone, your happiness is gone. Mm-hmm. But for example, for people watching, like, who want to start that journey, because I feel like it's hard, because sometimes there is people like, dude, I want, you know, there's people saying, I want the J's, I want to wear the J's, I want to wear the Gucci shirt,
the Yeezys,
you know, the Yeezys. But I'm not saying, like, how do you explain to people to improve yourself? Like, you're not doing it to make yourself feel good. You're doing it because you actually like the product, you want the product, and you have a hand of it. If the Yeezys were, this is kind of excessive, but if I took your Yeezys off right now and burned them, would you be okay with that? I don't think you'd be okay in the sense like, yo, dude, what the hell? Yeah. But I mean, essentially speaking, you'd be okay without the Yeezys.
Yeah, you know, I get what
you're
you're
wearing
saying.
Vans. Like, how can you, I don't want to say explain yourself, because at the end of the day, it's who you are. You release that ego, like, okay, I don't wear Yeezys to make myself feel good. How can you advise someone to think that?
That's kind of hard, because I feel like it's
very subjective.
It's a very subjective. That's what I'm saying. It's subjective. It's like asking what's the meaning of success, and
of course,
I feel like, or even happiness,
or
right?
how, or maybe like how did you actually develop into that mentality?
Honestly, just like bad experiences. Honestly, like for me, I realized like you cannot have attachments to things that you like that are basically externalities. It's kind of like the saying where the need of anything gets in the way of everything, right? So if I need these, like I need the Lamborghini, it's just gonna get in your way. You'll just block yourself from it because you have such a desire and need. Like I do believe you need desire, but desire is a lot different from a need, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you have to detach yourself from these things, like, because I like for me, like I just look at it life as like, you know, you have who you are, right? You know, like girls, money, cars, like all these things we like envision, like, oh man, like my life would be perfect with all those things, and it's like, no, it wouldn't. You know, you should be as happy as you are on a 100-foot yacht as you should be in a cave, right? Like there should be no difference. You should be equally as happy, because the commonality between those things is you, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are. It's, I love that. Like the saying, like everywhere you go, there you are. Yeah. You think of like, oh, you know, like, you know, we're in a small town, Hollister. I came from a small town. It's like, I remember when I was there, I was like, you know, I can't wait to go to Monterey. Like, I'm going to create a new life for myself, you know? But it was like, I never addressed my problems and like was holding me back, because I wasn't successful in the small town that I grew up in. And I'm not even successful in the town that I moved to. And I thought it would make me successful just by being there. But it's like, no, man, you have to put in the work in yourself, and develop yourself as a person. Of course. And I don't know, we really took a tangent on this one.
No. I like that. You want to ask me that?
No, I like that.
Because I like that, bro, because it does come down to who you are. And especially it starts with who you want to be. Because I don't think, I'm going to ask you this, do you think that you're born with it, or is it developed? Is there something innate first as humans? So like from a human objective standpoint, we're animals, bro. We want certain things. We have those desires. However, we also, like the part of our brain, we have an animalistic brain, but we also have the prefrontal cortex that allows us to make these decisions. Right. What do you think on that? Like you mentioned the desire thing, but how do you find the happiness within that? Because you mentioned the whole cave thing and the yacht thing. Yeah. But when we see movies, bro, or people posting on Instagram, we're not thinking that, bro. We want that life. Yeah. I'm speaking generally, right? Right. We want that life, especially with now an age of social media. I could sit here right now, bro, and later on, like, just take a picture, like, yo, dude, like, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, but like my life is miserable. Right. Yeah. Was there ever a point where you felt like that? I'm not saying like you were completely miserable. Well, I really like where it's going, bro, because I want it to be more personal. Like, I'm speaking from a general standpoint, because I feel like it's really hard, bro, for people to do that. Because it's hard for me now, dude. Not so much the external things, just making sure like there's a balance, bro, and finding like that deep like I want to be happy at every point in my life. Right. You know, like, was there ever a point where you kind of felt like you felt lost?
Oh, absolutely. Or yeah, I still feel like lost, but it's just like trying to find the direction. And like I said, I just think that you have to like audit your life and see like, okay, like where am I lacking, and like where do I have a surplus, and like, you know, wherever that may be in your life, you know. Definitely. But it's I just feel like it's a journey that everyone has to go through themselves, you know. Like I can't answer these questions. Of course. Well, like I mean I can, but like it's subjective to you. It's subjective. Like happiness is subjective, success is subjective, and basically I just want to be like, for me, my main driver is I just want to be a person that you could draw me in any situation, and like I'm good no matter what, you know. Like I could be, like I said, in the cave, in the yacht, in the jungle. It doesn't matter. I want to be able to be like a solid person no matter what, and that's probably like, I just think that's something a lot of people deal with, is they don't ever address it. They just kind of are like a victim of circumstance.
Okay.
And just kind of like, just drift along life, with no purpose.
So you mentioned like when you were ready to go to school and move to Monterey, like you're like, oh, I'm starting this new life. Did you ever feel like, man, the only way to start a new life is for me to get out of this small town? Was that your mentality?
Yeah, so like I had that mentality.
So then you got to Monterey, and it was like, well, I'm not saying it didn't work out. I'm just saying like, it's just it doesn't matter.
It didn't manifest like how I had it in my
head. Because do you think now, like in hindsight, like it doesn't matter where you are, if you just do, or you still believe that you need to be at a certain location? I have my own viewpoint on this.
For sure. I think it's kind of a little bit of both, actually. Like, I do believe, like, surround yourself with better people.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to surround yourself with, like, your friends who are just, like, drinking and partying all the time, like, because you'll just join them, you'll kind of conform. And I've personally have done that,
Yeah.
I've fallen victim of just, like, before I would not drink. Like, I'd go out to parties, but I wouldn't drink.
Yeah.
Like, I just was like, like, I want to stay healthy. And, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll indulge a little. And then dabbled too much, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
the reason I ask, because I feel like sometimes we're waiting for the right time. As I mentioned before, like the camera started rolling, bro. My goal with this podcast, like our goal is like let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. We might not have the right production, we might not have the right equipment, but we're doing it. And in that, I want to inspire people. But like I feel like sometimes we put those limits, like not until I get this, I'll start doing this.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because personally, like from us, like from Hollister being a small town, which is getting really big and commercialized, I think it's an advantage to us, bro, because there's not a lot of people doing this. So there's not a lot of people doing this. We're gonna do it our own way and pave the way for that. Someone watching is like, I want to start my own podcast. I like what they do, but I'm gonna do it my way. When you go to places like LA or like the big cities, of course you're gonna get inspired. You're gonna network.
Yeah.
But I think you don't need to wait till you get to those cities. I
agree with what you were saying.
You know what I'm saying? That's my viewpoint on that.
Yeah, best time to start is now, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
so that's what
whatever
I'm saying.
You're doing.
But I've not always thought about it that way, bro. Because I was the same way. I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like, this is not. I'm learning every day, man. It's not I don't think once you start your awareness, like, okay, we're good. Well, I'm good now. You can't tell me how to think. You can't tell me it's an everyday struggle, because there's a lot of stimulus, dude, and there's a lot of expectations from society. But it's like, how do I break away from that while still being true to myself?
Yeah.
And it has to do a lot with that, man. Like, I'm gonna wait till this, and this.
Yeah.
You want the M3, but you know what I mean? How you gonna get there?
We all move at our different speeds.
Yeah. So
I like what you said about, like, basically, like starting now. Because if we wait, like, I feel like I waited on a lot of things in my life.
Yeah.
And I realized there's no reason I should. Or like squandered a lot of opportunities. So like even with school, like I went to CSUMB, and like I'm not, like, my family doesn't come from like rich background. Like, we definitely would have qualified for some financial aid.
Of course.
Never applied because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. But that was the kind of opportunity I didn't take, right, to improve my life. And then my buddy from Nepal, he came here, barely speaks English, really cool guy. He speaks great English now, and he goes to CSUMB as well. And he's like, hey, like, did you apply to scholarships? He asked me, like, my last semester. I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, why, did you? And he's like, yeah, man, like, you get a lot of money. Like, how much did you get in scholarships? And he's like, oh, like, this semester I got $6,000. And I'm like, what? Like, tuition's only $3,500, for a semester. And he's like, yeah. And like, and on top of that, he's like got financial aid because whatever. And I'm like, and for me, I'm like, wow, like, he sees that opportunity. Why didn't I do that? We had the same, like, we're in the same position.
Exactly.
Right? Honestly, I probably, like, I don't want to sound like cocky, but like I was probably at an advantage because like he's a foreigner. Like, I would know the language a little bit better, like if we're writing essays. But I was like, I never even took the opportunity. So he deserves that, honestly, for like having the courage and like actually doing the work. As opposed to me, like, I just was asleep at the wheel. Like, it was a wake-up call for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this was my last semester.
That's crazy, man. It's like, good. That's a good anecdote, because that's the same thing. Everyone has a different walk of life. We see things differently, bro. You know what I mean? I like that, because Especially, I mean, they're not a disadvantage, but I feel like they're hungry, bro, because they're not from here.
Yeah.
They want to learn.
For sure.
What I mean? I want to talk about that, but right now we're going to take a little break.
For sure.
I definitely want to talk about like your school experience.
Okay.
I keep talking about. I want to go a little bit back to affiliate marketing, and especially
Yeah.
like how you make your income, and like tips and tricks,
Uh-huh.
and then more of like the mental part, like
For sure.
what like if you deal with anxiety, any setbacks, and how you overcame them. So
Okay.
we'll be right back, and we'll be back right back with Brendan. All right. All right, welcome back. We're back from the break. We're still here with Brendan. We're gonna talk about some more background stuff, how you grew up, and then just your vision, man, your perspective. So we were talking about in the break, man, the intermission about parents.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about that, bro. Especially like, take it away. We'll just
Yeah,
talk
for
about
sure.
parents.
So basically, what we're saying was that, like, our parents, like, no bad feelings towards them, but they can mess us up with like how, like, with the beliefs that they give you, right? Or like the script, so to speak, the software that they install into your head. And I just think that, you know, you have to be careful. And like for me, the biggest like fear in my life is like I become like that, right? Like I give them the wrong tools. Like I want to be able to, like, we live in a technology age where everything's so accessible, information, knowledge, that we can, you know, formulate our own opinions and create our own lives. And I just, like, I never want to instill something bad onto, like, you know, like my family or anything like that. And I just think our parents, that they do the best that they can, you know, like we were saying in the break, they do the best that they can with the resources and opportunities that they were given. And like they didn't have like bad intent.
Of course, yeah. I don't think it's in the intention is.
Yeah.
And like I told you in the break, that picture, you know, caterpillar, butterfly.
Right.
What does it say?
You've changed.
You've changed. I mean, we're supposed to change, right?
Yeah.
But have you gotten that a little bit, like, from your family members? Like,
oh, it's so funny. Like,
you know?
like my friends from high school. Like, I posted a photo on IG, and like literally my friend says, "You've changed," and I was like, "I hope so." Like, I gotta admit, it's been like what 3-4 years since I've been gone. Like, I hope I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that shows no growth.
Of course. Of course.
It doesn't show you change. Like if you change for better or for worse, it's growth.
Of course.
It's just in a different direction, right? If it's bad, you know, like if I'm living on the streets, that's growth, but it's a downward growth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a downward curve.
Of course.
But
now, do you think, speaking about that, do you think it's an ego thing in the sense from his perspective? Like
it's attachment, man.
Attachment. It's similar to what we were talking about earlier.
It's like ego.
Yeah.
It's like attachment, like who you are. So
Yeah.
I think if you want to get to like a level, like a higher level in life, whether it be financial, spiritual, you know, whatever it may be, you have to like metaphorically like kill the person who you are. Sounds terrible.
No, but it's
But
true.
in order to become the new person, because that new person that you envision, or like that life you envision, cannot be achieved with being that person that you are right now, right? You have to create a new version of yourself,
Of course.
like from scratch, you know?
You got to be okay with killing yourself.
Yeah, like
And
metaphorically.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
obviously, your old self to transform into this.
Into your new self.
Metaphorically.
Because, you know, like all your limiting beliefs about yourself, your life, like things that hold you back. Like for me, like one of the limiting beliefs about money for me was like my dad would be like, I'd like see someone like with nice stuff, right? He's like, yeah, but like he sold his soul, you know, like.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't even know this guy, right? Like, how can you even say that? But like, I just like my like whole mentality when it came to like financials was just like anyone who had money was like either like corrupt, evil, or like he's like, yeah, he sold his soul to like the devil, right? Like, I'm like, dude, you have no idea like what he actually did.
Definitely.
And so just like a negative connotation with money, right?
Now, yeah, of course. Now, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I got 2 little sisters.
Okay, so you're the oldest?
Yeah.
So how does that, I don't want to say interferes, but how does that influence like your not relationship, but the whole parent thing? So like, let's suppose you're trying to explain to your parents what you're trying to do. They're trying to say that the way you move might not sit how they envisioned you to move.
Right.
So how do you sit with your parents and tell them like, well, this is the way I want to live. This is my mentality.
Yeah.
Was it? I mean, I'm not saying your parents are always gonna all right. You know what? You're on your own.
Right.
Late. We're not your parents no more.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, there's clashes because personally, and I know a lot of people probably watching this. He's probably related. Like, there's clashes, especially in perspectives, because our parents, like you mentioned, our parents lived one way. They're gonna teach us based on their contextual viewpoints and the resources they were given. So how did you go about that?
Honestly, I never really, talked to him about this type of stuff,
Okay.
right? Just because I felt like it'd be, like anytime I did, it'd be really abrasive, right?
Yeah, well, because
so
it
would never go smooth.
Of course.
Like, they would have so much, because, look, I feel like when you bring, like, kids into this world, like, the expectation is for them to go on their own path, right?
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have the expectation of, like, oh, I'm going to try and guide them. Like, yeah, you want to guide them, like, instill good principles into them.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like after that, like, you got to let them go, right? Like, you got to have, like, you can't be so attached.
Yeah. Do you feel like your parents were attached?
Well, like, even, like, now that I graduated, right, I was looking for, because I worked in a hotel in Carmel Valley from Greenfield, so that's an hour drive. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Logistically, it didn't make sense. So after I graduated, I was like, I'm going to get a new job closer. And what's close in Greenfield, like, they have these giant marijuana facilities, right? And I was like, like, I'll just get a job there. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
But, like, my parents, like, they don't do any of that. Like, they're very, like, strict. Like, don't do drugs, don't do this.
Conservative.
Like, I'm not an advocate either. I just wanted a job that's close.
Close.
Like, literally, my house is 2 minutes from it. Right?
Yeah, you're
so
thinking.
I could walk to school. Like, for me, walk to school.
Walk to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I was just like this just makes sense, like, financially. And then when I told them that, they're like, no, I don't want you to take that job. Don't do it. Like, I really don't think you should do. Like, literally, I had not even applied to the job yet, and they were hounding me about that, like, for even thinking about it, right? Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, well, he is like, my dad was in corrections, so he was like prison guard, so he's like, very course. Like strict, like anti.
It's stigmatized though. That's
yeah,
of course.
And that's just his beliefs, and it's not like I can like hate him for his beliefs. We all have our beliefs.
Exactly. So I feel like that's the difference though, because sometimes, for example, you being that type of person, being the open-mindedness and being objective to things, you're okay with their beliefs, but sometimes do you feel like they're not okay with yours?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I've had this, dude. I'm gonna be real about it, because it's like I said, bro. It's an everyday struggle. Mm-hmm. Parents, like, honestly could hold you back, even though they're supporting you. So it's a conundrum, bro. Because they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I want you to be successful. I want you, but then once you start telling them what you want to do and what you're happy with, oh, how come you don't think about this? Mm-hmm. This has good money, bro. Growing up, bro, I got this instilled. Like, I've always had like a temper.
Right.
So I still develop. I'm a lot better with my EQ, my emotions. But my parents, you like to argue, you should be a lawyer. So, dude, growing up, bro, from like 9 years old up until high school, like, dude, I'm gonna be a lawyer. I didn't know why. Right. But I look back in hindsight, like, dude, because that's what my parents said. But then I started realizing, I don't like reading. I don't like writing. Why the heck am I making a lawyer? Oh, mijo, it's going to be good money. Yeah. But that's they weren't trying to hold me back. They weren't trying to plan out a life for me. But, those little things could affect you later on. It's like, now I love reading and writing. I don't want to be a lawyer, but it's for my own benefit, But I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. And it's like relatable to people here and watching, because I'm not advocating to go against your parents. Right. It's almost just, understand them, but also just continue doing what you need to do, because he can tell you, man, this barbershop, he worked it. This is like the results, Mm-hmm. It's just like on Instagram. You're going to post a result. No one knows how you got there. Right. Our parents have stories, bro. Our parents have stories. They have their struggles, man. Our grandparents, bro, our ancestors. But then that want to piggyback off of that and lead into like the cutoff. Like you said, you don't have a child yet. I think we view things a little bit different too, because we're both fathers. Right. Yeah. I'm just like, no. Definitely no. But what I'm trying to say is, like, when you do, like you mentioned about like the cutoff, you want to be like, you want to instill good things in your children, mm-hmm. without not taking the bad things from your parents. Like, I don't want to do what my parents did to me. Right. But how do you go about that, man? Like, what's like, especially maybe not children, but with other people. Like the cutoff. How can like the cutoff, or how do you impact people without making it seem like, oh, the way I think is the only way to think? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I think you just like give value and like really have no expectation, you know, like have no expectation. I think that's just like the best way, because it's like, you know, like if you have no expectation, you're not gonna try and sell them on something, right? Like, or sell them on a belief. You're just like, yeah, like I'll help you, but if you don't want to take it, then that's
something I had troubles with my family.
Yeah,
like I was giving, like you said, value, but with expectations. Like I wanted to see changes in them.
Yeah,
you know, but I couldn't. And then a lot of stuff would run into my mind, like, can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Even though they're my parents, those thoughts were coming to my head. But because I wanted something out of what I was telling them, you know, I didn't want my words just to be in the air. I wanted action. But then I realized that they have to take that action, you know. I could just lead them that way, but if they don't do it, you know, they can't do it. So
for sure,
you know what I mean? And
I think like that's like, so I kind of think that way too. Like my personal relationships, like, oh, I'll do this if you do that, and it's like, dude, that's a bad dynamic. You know, you don't want that set up.
It's kind of like when
it's
they
a
say
slippery
like
slope.
It's kind of like when they're like, oh, don't get married with that person because she doesn't like to cook, for example. Like, oh, I'll make her cook. Like, no, you can't make people, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta accept it at face value of like what you're getting into. So
of course, like, and I don't think, you know, I feel like sometimes that could be a negative connotation. You know, accept that, you know. But I feel like you just let people be. You know, like that saying, if there's a will, there's a way. Like the people, every person has a will. If they want to change, they will change. You know, but you can't force that upon them. I want you to talk a little bit more about expectations, though, because, like, what's your when you say something, give value without expectation? What do you mean by that? Like, for example, if I ask you, what's up, Brendan? Like, I'm someone like, you've changed, bro. Yeah. Like, why do you think that way? And then you try to explain to me your story. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want to hear it. Waste of time. Yeah. Like, how do you go about that, bro?
That's kind of a difficult question.
No, definitely.
You know, like, I don't know. Like, I personally haven't really examined that, I guess.
Yeah.
On how I handle that. Like, I just think, when I think about my experiences in life, like, the best times that I've had is when I've had no expectations. Like, I was just in the moment, present, like, having a good time, providing value, whatever it may have been in that situation. Like, obviously, value is, like, again, subjective, like, depending on the situation that you're in. But like every situation that I've been in that has been like that, and like I'm like, oh man, like that was like the best time of my life. Like I wish I could do that all the time. Like I was on as a person, and it's like, what did I do? Like look at it, right? It's like, oh, I didn't have any expectations. I was present in the moment, which is like a lot of woo-woo stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to go back to affiliate marketing real fast.
No, go for it.
It's not about affiliate marketing, but it's just about
the way
business.
You could explain it, man. Go for it. Yeah.
So, one of the things that I learned in this like program that I did was like I spent like $1,000 that weekend. So like for me, it was just an investment in myself, because it's like, dude, that's the best bet you could place is like on yourself. So one of the things that they were talking about was in online businesses, and this can apply to even like brick and mortar stores, right? So like let me ask you, like, what does Amazon Prime sell? Like, what do you get?
I mean, it sells reliability, and then like the fact that you could get products quick. Yeah. I mean, I use Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime's the best, right? Like, it's so
it sells a good service. You're buying a service essentially.
So basically, what they're saying in this event, like, Amazon Prime sells accessibility, right? Yeah. The accessibility to products 2 days or even like same day sometimes. Same day, you know what I'm saying? Like, depends where you're at. And people love the accessibility, and same with like they just load the value into it, right?
Of course.
So you're not going to cancel Amazon Prime just because maybe you're not going to buy something from them within this month, right? Yeah. You'll keep that membership because maybe 4 months from now you'll want something from them. Same thing with Netflix. You're not going to cancel your Netflix account because you're out of town on the weekend, right? Yeah. Like, oh, I'm going to go up to like LA or go down to LA. Oh, better cancel the Netflix. I'm not going to be home to watch it, right? No, you're not going to do that because it's value. So I'm going to get into Costco for a second, and I'm going to tie it all together. So Costco only makes 4%. They net 4% profit. I heard this from someone else, so maybe these numbers are a little bit skewed, but essentially they make 4% on the products that they sell within their store. Now, accounting, like paying employees, like all that, like the real estate even, like that's going to kill that 4% of profit that they made. But where they make the money is in the memberships.
Of course.
Right? So the memberships is where it's at. And that's like if someone at this event was like, yeah, I've had a Costco card since like Costco membership for 40 years before it was like even Costco, right? And so like how does this apply to business or like online business, affiliate marketing, how does that apply? So basically, you can create an e-commerce store like Shopify. Like I'm sure you're familiar, and some people who are listening to this like are familiar with that. So what you can do is actually implement like a membership, like your own Amazon Prime, into your store. And even for me, like I can do this with affiliate marketing.
Yes.
And they load this up with like, okay, you get free shipping, like exclusive products, like an ebook, like depending on like on your store, like whatever it is, like tips and tricks, like newsletters, and like they just put so much value into like this little membership. What they put on their add to like after you add to cart, like you're checking out.
Yeah.
They put that option there as like an upsell, and it can be like $10.99 a month, right? And so you get like maybe like 15% people opt into that. And then that's just reoccurring revenue.
Yep.
So like the big problem with e-commerce is that you're just getting a one-time purchase, right?
Yeah.
Or hopefully you're hoping for reoccurring, like they come back.
What's the probability of that customer coming back again?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
customer retention.
Yeah, exactly. Like hoping that they come back and purchase more items because they like what you got. But with an e-commerce store, it's a little difficult because you're drop shipping, you're getting products from you not even seeing these products. Yeah. So it's sometimes hard. But one way you can actually keep making money reoccurring is through the back end, which is the membership, which is like you're just selling accessibility just like Amazon Prime.
Yep.
In a different way. And I thought that was a really cool thing that I learned. I just wanted to share that before, because I know we're probably getting close on time.
No, definitely. I like that you shared that because it's huge, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's huge when you look at it from the overall perspective, because these are things that I've talked to him about too. Like as a barber, you grow your clientele. You get those reoccurring clients. You come back. Dude, he's been cutting me up since junior year, bro. Mm-hmm. He was cutting out of his trailer, dude, and just on the weekends. And it wasn't until like, I do have to clean fade. Like someone else, like go to OD. Where I went, it's like boom. Ever since, bro, never.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things. I've seen him grow, and one of the things I told him, like, bro, you need to. What are your goals? Like, what do you want to do? And one of the things we mentioned, like, together, like, bro, let's create a subscription model.
Yeah.
Let's do something where they give value, and they're willing to pay for us. We'll call it just a fee. Something affordable.
Right.
But they get a lot of value in it.
Yeah. And
it's true, man, and that's where you really build revenue, customer retention, and I think overall trust as well. Because why do people go to Costco? Because they trust their product. I love Costco, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Costco. I love Amazon, Netflix, all that. And that's what they're selling, dude.
They're selling
like it's like that. I don't know if you've seen that before, bro. Uber is the number one car service,
ride sharing app.
Exactly. They don't own cars. Airbnb is like the biggest lodging business. They don't own any property.
Yep.
That's crazy to me, bro, because they don't own any of the physical assets, yet they make money off of them.
It's insane.
That's insane, dude. And that's like what we mentioned earlier in the intermission. You get paid equivalent to the problems you solve.
Right.
And I think it also, relates back to life, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like the compound theory. You invest a little bit in yourself, it's gonna, it's gonna come back bigger and better.
Absolutely. And I think it also has a lot to do with like how you perceive yourself, like depending on like what wages you think are suitable for you, right? Mm-hmm. Some people are okay with like $11 an hour. Like, so it's like, oh, that's great. I think that's below minimum wage here in this county.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's 12. So like, oh, $12, like cool. Minimum wage, I get tips, cool.
Yeah.
But other people are like, no way. Like I know this one girl, she's like, no. Like I should get at least $23 an hour, and like she's got a job where she's getting paid $23 an hour. Of course. And it's just like she could have settled for like $12, but she didn't have that perspective of herself. She felt like she's worth $23 an hour, and other people feel like, oh, I'm worth $12 an hour, which is tragic because I don't think you should ever, get paid just depending on your time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I kind of want to backtrack a little bit, especially not so much to stay on the topic of parents, but the reason or you went to school. So the whole school thing. I went to school as well, and there's like a stigma behind it. I come to believe that you don't need to go down that path to find success. What success means to you, it's proven. It's been proven time and time again.
There's examples everywhere.
What led you down that path?
So for me, it's like kind of not a romantic story, but like heartfelt. You know, because I didn't want to go to school. Yeah, for sure, did not. When I was playing those video games and I'd stay up all night, like, oh man. It's like I'd look at like affiliate marketing and like penny stocks, right?
Yeah.
Like Timothy Sykes with this penny stock stuff before it was like really big. It's like, man, I'm gonna trade penny stocks as soon as I graduate high school. I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna like flex on everyone. You know, like I was just like such an infantile like mind. And yeah, so then I was like looking at all that, and then my parents like, no, you need to go to school. I was like, okay, whatever. Like I'll just go to school. Got a little part-time job. Went to the junior college there. And then I was like, you know, like I always wanted to go to CSUMB. Like I really liked the area, Monterey, Car Week, all that stuff. I was like, I want to be a part of this somehow.
Environment,
Right. And so my grandma too was like, my grandpa passed away when I was super young. Like I was like 2 or 3 years old. And so I didn't really like know him, right? Like I never, like I have no recollection of how he was as a person. But like one of his things was like he really was adamant, like wanted me to go through college. Like he's like he left money behind so I could go to school, right? And so like then it was like my grandma's job, since he passed away. It's like, oh, like make sure he goes to college and like get him through it, like. Yeah. And so for me, I was like oh, like weight on my shoulders. Yeah. Because like I have to do this instead of wanting to, which I'm not gonna say is bad because like it provided me opportunity. And like puts me in the spot where I am today, so I don't have any regrets.
Of course.
But like there was times I was like, man, I want to drop out.
Well, yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah. Like even when I was at the junior college, I should have graduated like super earlier, like just way earlier than I should have. But because I'm super young for my age, of course. I should have graduated when I was 21.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I graduated when I was 22 because I messed up in junior college. I was like, man, I don't want to go to this class. I had a part-time job and they would schedule me during the class because I let them. You know, because I was like, I didn't want to go to the class, so I would just go work. And then it was stupid. I should have just stayed in the class because that's like the regret that I had.
Of course.
That I was like,
more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I should have just.
So it's more. You would say that you went to school because of that.
Yeah, because my grandpa, like he really.
But I mean, you don't like you said, you don't regret it. Obviously,
yeah.
I don't regret going to school because, like I mentioned before, like I learned more outside the classroom than I did inside the classroom.
For sure.
It's more experience, bro, and experience in the sense where, like, dude, I've met people, dude, who've come from different backgrounds, bro, who like, dude, like. Grinding. They tell me a story about their parents. Like, oh shit, man. Like, you don't know these things, bro. It's a whole different realm. And I feel like you could do that anywhere, though. I don't think you have to go there to do that. You don't. I truly believe that because I don't know, man. I feel like you relate because you get different people walking through that door, different backgrounds, bro. And I feel like he's told me before, bro. As a barber, I feel like I'm a therapist, I'm a counselor, bro. I get these stories, dude. And like. His goal though is like his thing is like it's more than a haircut, it's an experience. Like you mentioned, why you gave $10 tip to your barber.
Yeah.
Because you had a conversation, she made you feel good.
Yeah.
You weren't. It's not that you weren't concerned about your haircut.
Yeah, I could.
But the reason
it could have been the worst haircut in the world, but she
the
like
$10 wasn't for the haircut. It was for the service.
Right. It's for the person giving the service.
Exactly. So I think that's a huge part, man. So before we finish off, man, do you want to give any last for the viewers or listeners any like last message or your mantra or whatever it could be, man? Just
I don't have that a mantra, man.
Yeah. No, anything, man. Just where they can find you and stuff.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Brendan Brick, but I just keep my affiliate websites disclosed. Like I don't.
No, of course.
Around, but
any last words before?
No, just don't get attached to externalities.
Perfect.
You know, things they're not gonna make you. Yeah. You know.
I like that, man.
Just be present.
There you go, man. There you have it. Another successful heist. We got into Brendan's mind and his life and his background. So if you're listening to this or watching this, I hope you guys took those knowledge nuggets and apply it, do something with it, and keep striving. Thank you for coming by, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
You guys have it. Thank you, guys.